What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Nick Raw Cannon. This is Philly Service Announcement. Takeover Tuesday, every Tuesday, 5 to 6, Glockaware Radio. My host, my brother Rue, always doing a million and one things. Of course, he'll be here, as he always does. But we always get our old faithfuls. My brother over here, he's an old faithful. He always show up for the show.
How you doing, man?
And we have our special guests on the show. And, we don't never really introduce our special guests. We let our special guests introduce themselves, tell us about themselves, what service they provide, what resource they provide, and how people can find you and where they can find you at. So, before we get into that really quickly, I just want to say and remind everybody, this is PSA, the love, support, and grace is always real. And, we bring the resources, we bring the activism, we bring the art of all kinds. So anybody, you want to get on the show, you want to share your resource, you want to, display your art, come on. I had the opportunity over the weekend to do a little painting with Chet, with my girlfriend. We got some music. Okay. And it just kind of reminded me of how art is like really in us and some of the things that I used to love doing as a child. I had a really good time doing it. Chet was amazing. And we had a lot of fun. And I wish I would have brought my art so I can show y'all, but I didn't, but anyway. Without further ado, I want our special guest to introduce himself, and we'll go forward. So thank you for coming on to the show. Welcome. Tell the people who you are.
My pleasure. My name is Cordell Smith, retired, but I'm an energy worker, and I provide balance for people. We provide balance in the form of individual foot detox, a method I devised to reduce the stress of emotional trauma in one setting.
Excuse me. Foot detox, is that like when you walk around barefooted, like have your feet connected to the earth so it can...
No, that's grounding.
Oh.
Foot detox is when you immerse your feet in a tub, and there's an electronic device in there that pulls toxins out of your body. But we also put other things in there because you have 2,000 pores in your feet. So the way I look at it, the pores are open, so they work both ways. Okay, so
Right.
the toxins are being pulled out, but we put, if you would say, nutrition or balancing elements in the water to feed your body at the same time. We also do Korean hand therapy, which is simplified but effective acupressure. Okay, we don't penetrate the skin whatsoever. We do cold laser therapy. We do cupping, which brings, usually when you're deficient in an area, the blood's not there.
Right.
So when you do cupping, it brings the blood back into that area.
And what is cupping?
Cupping is really creating a vacuum on the skin with a glass bowl.
I've seen something like that before.
And the skin,
They
the
call
skin
it cupping,
rises.
and people use it to separate, like where you have cellulite, and they rub it across the skin to kind of like separate the fat from
You're
the
probably
skin.
talking about ralphing.
Okay.
Because we put a lubricant on the skin, and then you go along the skin with the cup, creating a vacuum, and it sucks the skin up in there, and it maintains that while the cup is on.
Okay.
The ancients could do that with their hands, but we're not that skilled.
Wow.
You might have seen it with the swimmers, when they have like the
The round patches on their back, the basketball players.
Yeah, they be cupping and it
Oh
it
yeah,
so
I see like
that's probably
them
what
round,
you're talking
them
about.
like look like big round bruises.
Yeah, Yeah,
So it does create like a bruise or something when you do
well,
it.
that's blood that you see. It's pulling blood to that area.
Right.
Okay, so if you're just stressed out, like athletics and things like that, sometimes the blood goes to other areas. So
Oh.
you want to pull the blood back into that area. My specialty is muscle testing, and because I have a background in several Reiki modalities, I can clear my mind to become attached to the universal intelligence. Some people call it the creator, whatever name you have, okay? It's where all intelligence, past, present, and future is stored. You just have to be able to tap into it. And since it knows everything about you, I don't have to see you to analyze your imbalances. All I need is your birth name, your birth date, and your birthplace. And that becomes you.
Wow.
Because nobody, with that 3 criteria, nobody else in the world has that criteria. If I just go by your name, chances are there's somebody else on the planet that has the same name.
Right. Yes. That's
So,
true.
you know, I won't be get a accurate, you can say diagnosis if you want to say that.
Right.
And through muscle testing, it's very, very effective. I've created custom teas making, doing that without knowing the essence of the herbs that I'm putting together.
Right.
And I've had miraculous results. And because I have a challenge of staying on point, my, you know, focus shifts quite a bit to other modalities that the teas are still requested, but they're just formulas now.
Okay. So you shared a lot of good information right now that is that's hitting me on a personal level because I struggle with like achy hands and my feet and I feel like even in my most like stressful moments it seems like I feel it all in my feet. So like a good foot massage can really take the stress away and help me relax and and not only just stress, like even if I'm feeling like I'm bloated or something I ate or something like that and got my feet feeling like swollen,
Well,
like my ankles but it's like pressure points on my feet that really help relax me.
well, I also do foot reflexology, so I'm aware of
So,
what.
so that's what I'm saying. Like you really are sharing a lot of good information. So I guess like where can people find you at? Like do you have any kind of web pages, social media pages or anything like that?
No, because naturopathic people, we lost 50 in 1 year.
Wow.
So you read into that what you want.
Right.
So we're rather low-keyed, just
okay.
by word of mouth. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No YouTube videos or anything like that. No,
Okay.
it's, stuff we do. My business partner, he probably doesn't like me calling him a Qigong master, but he's well versed in like 4 types of different Qigong, including a type that's called monastery Qigong, which is rare and it's not taught to a lot of people. But he incorporates that in some of the things he does, and it works very well.
What is it? What is monetary Qigong?
It's just another form of movement to get the, for a simpler word, blood or qi, the energy moving. Whenever you have pain,
Right.
it stops moving. It's just blocked.
Okay.
In other words, they can see me. If I have pain here, there's 2 reasons. There's either it's blocked here and the pain comes back, or it's blocked down there. If it's blocked here, it's deficient.
Okay.
If it's blocked down here and it comes back, it's excessive.
Okay.
So the pain can be caused by two different things, either not enough energy in that part or too much energy. It's like when you hurt yourself, let's say you hurt your arm, first thing you do is this.
Right.
Okay, what you're actually doing is forming a bridge so that the energy keeps moving to lessen the pain.
Without even knowing it.
without
Like,
even
you don't
knowing.
even realize that that's
Yes.
what you're doing.
Yes.
We do that. We've been doing it since we were kids. Like, it's like a natural
Yes.
reflex.
It's in our DNA.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important as far as the feet go. Whenever I have an imbalance or discomfort, I talk to that part of the body. You know, and I say, I love you. Please forgive me for the abuse I have given you. And usually the pain lessens. I'm not going to lie and say it, eliminates the pain because you still have the imbalance.
Right.
But it works for me. I'll put it like that. You know, I can tell people you can do the same thing. Your body's listening. Each cell has a brain. So if it has a brain, it has understanding. I just gave a lecture, what was it, Sunday. And I try to tell people, talk to your body. Oh, my business partner's here.
Come on up here.
Hi, good morning. How you doing? Good. He was just talking about you in a good way. You know, he was just talking about you, but sure, come on, help us. And he's really sharing a lot of great information with me, and I'm sitting here in awe because I'm like amazed. But please help us. That we don't normally introduce our special guests. We let our special guests introduce themselves.
Okay.
Please tell everybody who you are. We've already heard there's not a lot of like social media websites or anything like that.
Like a brick and mortar building?
Yeah, like is it a
location that,
location maybe
people can,
somebody can go to, or if you on call, do you come to the people, or do the people come to you? But let's first introduce yourself. Let's let everybody know who you are.
My name is William Laurie. I am trained in traditional Asian medicine, naturopathy, homeopathy, Sai Sangiovini, whatever else that he came up or we came up with. There's a whole gambit of things that we touch upon in order to help people with their various health concerns, whether it be emotional or physical or whatever.
Right.
You know.
And as I was saying earlier, is your preferred method? Do you come out? How do people obtain your services?
Typically, people obtain their services by it's by word of mouth. Essentially, they call us and they come and meet us over at his residence, and we work from there. On rare occasion, do we go out to work with somebody? On very rare occasions.
Okay. So I hear you share that various different reasons, right? People come and use your services. Is there any specific service that is your most requested, or that you find people get more use out of the most?
Well, that depends. We use something called muscle testing, and we figure out what the person needs. Traditionally, it's not incorporated with the methods I use. However, I incorporated them. I find them to be highly accurate. So someone comes to me and I work on them. I assess them real quick. Say, does this person need Korean hand therapy? Do they need shoe point therapy, which is spinal reflexology, essentially with the Asian medicine flair? Do they need Taoist sacred turtle, which is on the stomach?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to stop you in what you're saying. You giving me. I'm completely at all. I have no idea. This is all new to me. I've never heard of any of it before. It sounds amazing. So when you say certain words, I'm like, okay, what is that when it comes to the stomach? Because what kind of stomach issues are you addressing there?
Well, it's not even a stomach issue. It's pretty much what's believed to be the first acupuncture system, which is called the Taoist sacred turtle.
Okay.
And it has acupuncture meridians the same as you would if you were to see acupuncturists. They went on the front, on your arms and on your neck and all that. It's the same points are right there.
Okay, so
It's a
it has
micro
nothing
system.
to directly do with your stomach, you know.
No, not per se. No.
Okay, okay,
But
okay.
if you have a problem that normally would take an acupuncturist other points to reach, I can do it all right here on the stomach. So I don't have to go to the hand to work on it because the hand is located here.
Right.
You know, so I won't have to worry about actually sticking you somewhere.
So you can
It's a
reach
channel,
the rest
actually.
of the body
Yeah.
through the stomach.
Yeah, so if there's channels, right? I'm not necessarily saying the hand, but if I want to reach the gallbladder, let's say large intestine channel, large intestine 4 is here, so I'm going to go right here on the stomach, and I'm going to locate that point, and I can hit it in the same place. It's a microsystem, is what it is, because you have them on your ear, which I do auricular therapy too. You can find them on the face, you can find them on the spine, you can find them on the hand, the foot, legs. It's just it's a different body map is what it is.
Right.
So you can do it, and the thing is with distal points you can be more accurate. You can have a lot better results because it's distant from where the main problem is. So when it's a channel, I'm not saying it's let's say if I did the heart channel, it doesn't mean you have a heart problem.
Right.
Okay, it means something else.
So when I'm just like, this is it's a lot, but it's because we're so used to, okay, there's some pain, let me go take some pills, let me go to the doctor, it's so many, you might got to get surgery for this, or you got to get this removed, and it's like it's other ways to address the problems that we're having. And to me, I don't hear about it. Like, I don't see people addressing any kind of problems that they may have in this way. Like, for example, acupuncture. Do everybody know what acupuncture is? Can you?
This is it.
Yeah, like this.
But I don't use the acupuncture. I have my teacher taught me a whole needleless acupuncture system.
So it's needleless.
Needleless. No needles whatsoever. Don't need needles.
So what do you actually do?
How
do you?
I might use my fingers to manipulate a point.
Okay.
Might use a stone. Might use color oils. Might use a laser. May use a magic marker. Typically I use a laser, but we're finding out that, hey, this person after they've done a treatment, I want to teach them Qigong, for instance, which are the healing exercises to back it up. Because for me personally, if you don't teach me Qigong, I don't want your acupuncture either. I need to know how to take care of myself, and Qigong or the exercises to help your body to work.
Oh, so you can help people by providing a service and then teach them how to do it themselves. Wow.
And I think one of the best things to do, in my opinion, is to use Korean hand therapy. That's an excellent method. I've been using it for years, and I stood on it for years before I learned the other things. And Korean hand therapy, you could teach somebody that in a matter of a couple of hours, and they could be right on it. I say, here's your map. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay.
Here's your map. This is what it looks like on this hand. This is what it looks like on this hand. You work this point, and you use our special methods in order to activate the body to receive the information that you're giving it on that meridian. Done.
Wow. And how long how long is a session? Like, if someone came to you for the Korean...
It depends.
It's a minimum of an hour.
Minimum of an hour.
Minimum of an hour.
Yeah, I've done people for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, depending on what their problem was, because I don't like working on people and having them get up and walk out feeling just as bad as they did when they came in the door.
Okay, so for example, me personally, I have been told I have carpal tunnel, right? I have been told that I have oh my God, I always forget, what is it called? About with the muscles in my feet. What is it called? Oh my goodness.
Flat-footed?
No, not flat-footed. It's something with the muscles in your feet. They called it, oh my God.
Atrophy or?
What's the symptoms?
Like arch sometimes falls. That's what they say.
Well,
Like, and
essentially, it's flat feet, but I know what you're talking about. You're having some kind of like atrophy, some kind of weakness in that holds the muscle there.
right, and they call this. I can't believe. It like comes and goes. What you say, bro?
It doesn't matter what it's called. I got a question. You have a muscular issue, so my question is: have you lost muscle tone? Have you had problems digestion? Have you?
Oh yeah,
Okay, there we go.
yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
Have
I've
you
had
problems?
I've had problems with digestion. I've had to have my gallbladder removed. Like this is this is one of the things that
I've
that's
asked-
why I'm here. Like hearing this is just like I done been through all this and never even knew about any of this to even try it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, for real, one of the main reasons we have y'all on the show is because I know for me, if I had the opportunity to try something like this, I would. So I know it's a lot of people out there like me who struggle with a lot, there's a lot of diagnosis amongst the Black community that, there's the carpal tunnel, the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the ulcers, fibroids.
Sarcoid, and all the other stuff that are typical. Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
Let me ask you a question. The other system, have you ever known that system corrects the imbalance? Or are you put on a drug for the rest of your life?
Well, I haven't been put on any drugs for the rest of my life. So it's from my understanding, it's a certain way of living. It's things you need to do in order for your body to be able to correct itself again. But when I was in pain with my gallbladder, they didn't tell me it's a way it can correct itself. We're going to have to remove it. That was the answer.
Well, it's just a business.
Yes. And that's very clear. That was made very clear, right? But I don't want people to have to go through what I went through, right? So I want to share. Personally, I want to try these things, but most importantly, I want the people, our community, to see this as a resource, to see this as an outlet, so that we don't just have to say, okay, yeah, this is wrong, take it out, or this is wrong, take some medication, right? So it's mind baffling to me because I never even heard acupuncture. Yeah, I've heard of acupuncture, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. How did you both come to be a part of this, or how did this become to be a part of your life? How did you know about it or hear about it or start doing what you do?
Well, many years ago, because it's August, I'll be 76, so it's many years ago, I read about this Chinese man in the 20s teaching college. So as you know, when you teach college, you have to be alert because you have all these questions, right?
Right.
Well, at the time, he was documented like 225 years old in the 20s, so it was relatively accurate. It wasn't
He was documented as 225 years old?
In the 20s.
In the 20s.
So
Wow.
I read up what he did. He took ginseng and an herb called Fo Ti Yin daily. So I just analyzed that and said, well, if that's good for him and he's living that long, why don't I do the same? And that's where it started. And because I was open to the possibilities of healing, other people like William have come into my life and enhanced it. Because once you open yourself up, people come.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, when the student's ready, the master will appear.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I've been blessed having William as my business partner. I do things basically by feel, and he explains everything. So, and it's a good combination. No ego or anything like that. So
That's great. That always makes a relationship better, right?
So that's how I started. Now,
When I was about 6 years old, my mom had a pain in her neck, And I looked at her neck. Well, she had, yeah, a crick in her neck or something. I looked at it and I went ahead and hit back here, which is one of the gallbladder 20 points. And
So you just did that at 6 years old. Like you just went and hit a point naturally at 6 years old.
Now it's like, turn your head this way. And I've used that same point to treat carpal tunnel for, I'm 54 now. So it's been almost 50 years I've been using that same point to treat carpal tunnel. I'm like, well, and I taught an acupuncturist friend of mine, I taught him that. He was like, well, I'd be damned. It works and it works quick.
Wow.
You know, because they're using other points in the arm. They're going straight down here. And I'm like, that's the pericardial meridian. Like, I don't see what it has to do with inflammation. But, you know,
How did you become so knowledgeable about all this? Other than just, you know, your natural way of being connected, like, how did you become so knowledgeable?
I've read so many books. My dad used to give me medical books to read when I was 6 years old because I had such an interest in it. And the teachers would complain that I wouldn't read such and such a book because it was so big, and I refused to read picture books. And I would take them and be like, here, take this. Won't you read? I'm like, and I would be in the principal's office, and my mom would say, well, I guess he's going to read it. And I read books that were 700 pages. I have it to you in 4 days. Give him the book, and that would be it. You know, I've always had this thirst for knowledge, and I had no problem when I got older to shut the TV off completely. I was a respiratory therapist for 20 years, so I come from a whole bunch of different point of views from the things I saw in critical care, and some things I've seen doctors do that are really miracles, and some things I've seen them do, I'm like, yeah.
That right I can imagine.
Yeah. A lot of people, my former co-workers would say, isn't it a conflict of interest of you having this interest in natural medicine versus allopathic care? And I was like, there's no conflict of interest with me because I know exactly what I'm going to do. And the doctors, some of them knew what I was doing. They had an idea. And some of them didn't, because some of them had patients that were anxious and the meds weren't working. And I was doing Dowen acupressure at that time. And I was hitting points and knocked their patient out, which it took them 2 days to go to sleep. And I would hit them and they'd be sleeping 5 minutes. And I walk out the door. So look at your patient. They look like, damn, it worked.
Oh my goodness.
You know?
Don't sometimes it depends on the doctor, because some doctors are basically employees of the pharmaceutical companies.
Exactly.
They have to issue
Well,
out certain drugs.
see, but some doctors
Just
don't
the
care.
business.
Bro, make sure
But
your microphone on.
some doctors don't care, and they want to take care of their patient. They're really patient oriented. However, some of them, depending on who they are and what entity they work for, I think you might be talking geared to a more private practice, and maybe a rookie physician or a physician that's caught like, I owe all this debt and I got to have it paid. You know, so it just depends. I mean, the physicians I was fortunate to work with, for the most part, the attendings that worked like in critical care, they were pretty much like the medical intensivists, similar to what you would see with Dr. House. Those guys, they were patient oriented. They would cuss you out. They was like, you ought to sue the hell out of that doctor. They would tell them in a heartbeat. These guys were old. They had been in the field a while.
Right.
And they did not put up for mistreatment for their patients. Those are the ones I didn't see. Now, what happened underneath and what kickbacks they were getting, I don't know.
Right.
I couldn't tell you. But they were doing a lot of different things, you know. So there are some on the other hand that were passing out meds that probably were on that, you know.
And a lot of the problems that we've seen in our community is just that, you know, the passing out of the meds. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just like, okay, boom, you show these symptoms, XYZ, let's give you a prescription, send you to the pharmacy.
If you look at the picture of it, we have a high level of drug addiction and illiteracy. And I'm talking about illiteracy not only just being able to read and write. I'm talking about illiteracy about our own health and about
exactly, because I feel illiterate right now. Like, just sitting here having a conversation with you about what it is that you do in ways that we can address some of the issues that we have with our bodies, and I've never even heard of it.
Well, I like to tell people, if you go to some people and they tell you what to do, you have no idea whether they're going to do it. But if I expose you to a color, and you can see, or even if you can't see, you're exposed to a color, it's a vibration. You will
Energy.
take that in.
Yes.
If I expose you to an aroma,
Right.
okay, it's working. If I expose you to a sound, these are three modalities that you cannot refuse. No one can refuse that. So when you leave us, no matter what we do, you're a different person.
Because you're automatically tapping into those senses.
Well, you're actually correcting the energy channels, but you're also feeding the body. I try to tell people we're like Swiss cheese, okay?
Yeah.
If you fill the holes, you have something that's complete. But if you don't, just have Swiss cheese.
Yeah. And go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna ask about as far as like opening up energy pathways, and that's good. Do y'all also like? Can y'all like? I guess I don't want to say rectify, but sort of like fix like hormonal imbalance, because it seems like depression is running rampant around.
They can be worked on. However, you got to remember, get out of the mindset of taking aspirin to get rid of your headache. You got to do some daggone work. You can't go back to the same habits. You have to start healing your traumas. You have to start correcting your nutrition. You have to decontaminate yourself from the things you listen to, the things you see, and how you carry yourself. It's some work you have to do. Yeah, we could give you some relief, some instant relief, but the problem is what you do afterwards. Because our job isn't to keep you coming to see us all the time.
Exactly, try to cure them. So, do y'all have like a nutritional, I guess, program that complements?
It depends on the
your
person.
treatment?
It depends on the person.
So y'all can help someone who comes to you for a service create an individualized plan, so to speak?
It can be done. We typically work on you on the spot and figure out what needs to be done, and we have our own methods that we don't disclose publicly.
Well, that's understandable. I mean, it sounds like, you have ways to be able to connect people with themselves, like channeling energy, building pathways and bridges, and attacking areas that require some attention without actually touching those areas. Like, it sounds like you're helping people be more in tune with themselves, their minds, their bodies. I mean, this is what I'm getting for you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what I'm getting from the information that y'all sharing about how y'all provide these services.
Well,
Is it kind of like that?
The body heals itself. Okay, we're just making slight adjustments. You're taking in energy. Are you familiar with chakras at all? Okay, well,
No.
I won't go in there. But anyway,
What is it?
You're absorbing. Our body's made to absorb things. And being melanated people, we are people of the sun. We're always absorbing things. Whether you absorb something that's good or negative.
Right.
Like, I'll give you an example of negative is the news. Or
Oh
the
my gosh.
television.
Tell me about it.
Good news is no news. Okay, they'll say, this happened yesterday and that's the end of it. But if it's something bad, they'll go on for weeks and talk about it. 9/11, there was, let's say, one terrorist act, okay? But the terrorist act was showing that even on the Disney Channel. So who did more damage? The people who did the destruction, or the media who broadcast that frequency?
Well, they definitely put the media definitely has an agenda, right? Especially when it comes to the Black community. It's like, it's all negative. They show the one good or great thing, and that's like, 20 seconds on the news. And then the bad thing, takes up, 15, 20 minutes of the show.
It's like watching Cops when Cops first came on.
Yeah, I remember
They
that show.
showed nothing but brothers being slam dunked, arrested, and it was on every show. You go to school, people like, did you see the episode of Cops? Yeah. The white guys are like, yeah. And I lived in West Virginia. If we saw them, you got to watch out for those guys. You got to be afraid of them. And it was just like this mentality, people who were your friends all of a sudden were turning around, not looking at you, couldn't look you in the eye. And then it came out finally that, hey, you're showing nothing but black people being arrested. This is really painting this picture for us.
Is it exactly?
They try to normalize criminality in our community
Yeah.
and make it seem like a normal thing. And if you do something positive, you're deemed as exceptional. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're not out of the norm.
You're you're the one that got out. No, it's a lot of people in the hood
Yeah.
doing good, positive things that are still there.
The only thing I can say, one group of people destroys and the other builds.
Well,
And that goes throughout history. If a
Absolutely.
nation's conquered, do they learn? No. They destroy all the books, they destroy the culture and put their culture in. That's why they had the Dark Ages,
yeah.
because they know nothing other than, what's that philosophy? Burn and destroy. They just come in and wipe everything out.
Kill, steal, and destroy.
Right,
Right.
it's a disgrace, So, but what I teach is muscle testing, and it enables you to determine what is good for you,
Right.
whether it be food, or people, or books, without any help from anybody else.
Right.
Okay, and I'm grateful to have William as a business partner because he does almost everything else, and my main thing is muscle testing.
Well, I mean, and speaking of books, you mentioned books. I see the binder right here, and I see that it's a guide to color healing. So, what does that mean?
Well, I can tell you an incident that I have. I very seldom have headaches. Okay, one day I had a headache. I was in Center City, and there used to be an art store on 4th Street. Okay, I walked in there. I used muscle testing to see what color could eliminate my headache. Okay, and I picked up a piece of paper. I think it was pink, and I stared at it for 15 seconds, and the headache went away. The piece of paper cost me 15 cents.
Okay, so you went into the store and was testing with the intention to test out some colors to see what will work best for your headache.
Right. In other words, with muscle testing, well, I won't mention the name of the store. I walked into a store, a large store, and at my level, I can scan things with my eyes, a whole bunch of stuff, right? And in the whole store, the only thing that was good for me in the whole store was one of the 4 soups. Everything else was not beneficial to my body. That's why I like to teach muscle testing, and the only criteria when I teach it is that that person's required to teach somebody else. So if you look at a geometric progression, I teach you, and
Pay it
because you
forward.
have this, this media, it goes out, and nothing can come back to me. All I did was teach one person,
Right.
So, but I've helped thousands of people.
Wow.
And they can't trace the source back to me because all they see
Is
you
a
know who
person
they
before
are.
them.
Yeah, so makes
Wow.
it nice and easy, and you can do that just by standing in front of things or thinking about somebody, or because you can correct imbalances distantly because we're all attached. So when you think about that person, have you ever thought about a person and they call you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, all the time.
We're
and we
attached.
say you gonna live a long time. That's the saying. It's you be thinking about somebody and they call you, oh, you gonna live a long time. I was just thinking about you.
We're all connected. All connected,
Wow.
For positive and negative things.
That's right too. That's right too. So it's like, and that color and that healing is, it's individualized. Like you would have to do it yourself to see what works for you. What works for one person is different for others, or is it like a commonality among colors with respect to different ailments that you could possibly
Well,
have?
I have a color healing system in my car, and what it is a color chart, a paint color chart, and it has over 2,000 colors in it. But you don't know which one is best or beneficial to you unless you know muscle testing. You can go right to that point. You can either look at it. You can even now, I tell people to breathe in that color, or you can put a body part, a certain finger, on that color for certain, and some people can actually feel the energy from that color coming through their body. The ring finger is where the energy usually comes in.
Oh.
And I tell people never have the watch, because sometimes the watches
I
stop.
have a watch.
The watches, never have it on the left hand.
Oh, okay, on your left
If you have
hand.
it on the left hand,
Oh,
because
okay.
if energy comes here and you're interrupting that energy, imagine energy flowing and that watch is going this way.
The processors are radioactive in those. And so, especially with your computerized watches, the processor is radioactive.
Right.
So you're dealing with radiation, and the radiation is creating a different kind of energy that's not isotonic to the body.
So should I be wearing a watch? I don't know. That sounded a little dangerous. You know, it's radioactive and the processes, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Y'all, I'm ready to take my watch off.
Well, with computerized watches, that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
with the phone
Apple
watches.
Watch is computerized,
Yeah.
not like the digital battery operated watches.
Well, I like
These
the wind-up
kinds.
ones. I like the
The
wind-up
wind-up ones. Okay. So this what I got on is radioactive, basically the Apple Watches.
The processor is. It creates a whole bunch of heat, you know?
Well, what I'm going to say is, whenever anybody says, for your convenience, beware.
Because it ain't good for you. If it's too convenient, it ain't good for you. You got to be able to work for something. Is that it? I mean, because, a watch is, well,
Say, milk does a body good. And
but
I'll
it
leave alone.
doesn't. But it doesn't. That's
I didn't
that's
say
an
that. I
old
didn't say that.
that's an old tall tale, because what happened? I don't understand. I feel like I used to drink milk as a kid a lot, all the time, and now as an adult I can't stand it.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
What did they do to the poor cow?
Yeah.
Mad cow disease? I don't.
Well,
No.
cows can't catch mad cow disease. It's impossible.
What was that
It's
anyway?
a sheep's disease. But when you feed a cow the brains, because it's a filler, you want to have cheap feed. Okay, when you feed part of the sheep to the cow, it crosses the barrier.
Oh.
They were so cheap to do that, and then they end up destroying whole herds because trying to save a few dollars.
I always just thought about it. It was like when I was young, it was real simple. Like, what other species of animal on the earth drinks the milk of another species? Like
It's simple, isn't it?
yeah. We're the only animal species that does that.
Well, if you
Like
have,
you don't see cats drinking dog milk. You're like,
if you have a good business plan, okay, if I have a waste product and I can sell that waste product and I make a lot of money, okay, after the calf no longer needs the milk, you have all this milk. It's a waste product. When you make aluminum, the waste product is fluoride. Hey, wait a minute. If I can get somebody to say that fluoride is good, I can sell all this.
Fluoride's not good for your teeth? I'm too old to be having these kind of questions and not understanding what's going on here. I got 5 kids. I've been preaching fluoride to.
You can look up in the MSDS material safety data sheet. Look up fluoride in that. It's going to tell you all the hazards, what it causes, this and that and the other. It's all in there. I mean, you just have to look up the MSDS. Go online, look up MSDS.
MSDS. What is the MSDS again? Listen, y'all.
Material safety data sheets. And look it up.
Material safety data sheets, because I'm going to tell too much of my age, but I'm old enough that I should know this information. But I didn't.
You can look it up yourself, and you'll find out, and you'll be like, oh, really? Why would they give that to us?
So it's probably a lot of things that we use right in our households that is not good for us. Toothpaste, soap, deodorant,
It's
lotion.
It's convenient,
It's
isn't
different
it?
additives.
It's convenient.
Different additives, yeah. And the FDA approves it. I guess they approve how much is a safe level for you to consume. But is it, I mean, when you look at the chemical components, what happens over time? You know?
Anything that you have, let's say there's a percentage of rat hairs that is allowable in that substance.
Or I guess, insects, cockroaches,
Yeah.
dung, animal feces, and all that stuff. You have acceptable levels.
Acceptable levels of rat hair and animal feces. I mean, it just sounds so bad. But they of course they not going to tell us that, right? Because then how they going to sell their product?
It's nothing personal, it's just business.
It is. It's all big business. All big business. Healthcare, big business. Pharmaceutical companies, big business. I didn't know anything about, being able to address my physical problems through color healing and Chinese, what you say it was again,
Hand therapy. Yep.
So, as far as your muscle therapy, how does it what exercises, as far as exercises, would you recommend and in connection with it? Because being
I can teach you in as little as 5 minutes. All you have to do is practice. It's like a muscle. Your sensitivity gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Sometimes it works so efficiently that you got to turn it off. You might look at somebody and go, "Oh man, let me turn my head because
You
that
gotta turn it
person
off."
has severe challenges." I just helped a sister Sunday, and you know how you can go to therapy for years and years and years.
Yeah, like physical therapy or mental health therapy.
Mental.
Okay.
Okay, and I can lessen that in one session, and you don't have to say a word.
So what do
And I
you?
can show you after this. I
Okay.
can show you.
So what is because I want to be able to help our audience and our community. What are some small little things that people can do to try, without getting a whole full blown out lesson?
I'll be back next week.
Learn
do
to.
it. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, seriously. Like, what is some?
So you say you didn't say no.
Exactly. So just some little pointers, maybe
Learn deep breathing,
that's a good one. And
and it's free.
that is free, and that right there, that's the one thing that I can sit up here and say I knew already. Y'all done shared a lot of information today that I did not know already, but that is the one thing that I can say, and I teach my kids that, when they are, having a meltdown or a breakdown or a temper tantrum or, anxiety all over the place,
Research
breathing.
reverse breathing.
What is that? No, seriously, what's reverse? Do you know what that is?
I didn't hear you say it again.
Reverse breathing.
Reverse breathing.
What is that?
When you breathe in, your diaphragm is supposed to go out. You're massaging the muscles. You breathe in, right? No, don't raise your shoulders. It's the worst
Okay,
thing you
just
can do.
breathe in.
Breathe in, okay. And I do a 5-step breathing for myself, but I'll breathe in once, and then I'll breathe in again without exhaling, and I take the breath higher, and then higher, and higher. And on my 4th inhale, I'm here. My 5th inhale, I imagine the breath going out to my hands, and the energy flowing between my hands. So you're feeding yourself for the whole period of time because I have not exhaled.
Oh, so
Okay.
you take like small breaths?
Just like you're sniffing a flower.
Okay, okay,
Okay? That's regular breathing.
okay.
Okay? Now, you're inhaling, but instead of relaxing and letting the stomach out, you're inhaling and you're contracting the muscles. So you're really working the muscles out, but you're still doing the same breathing. And William can tell you there's there's a lot of different breathing techniques.
Yeah.
All martial arts use breathing
Yeah, but
techniques.
So that's related to martial
actually,
arts?
That's actually like a routine you do like when you work out. You'll breathe and contract everything as you go in.
Let me ask you this: How often do you breathe?
I don't know.
How often do you breathe?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
like-
then you can do it all the time.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. We can do
when
it.
a baby comes out, he's breathing abdominally. Okay, and we're taught to do upper breathing because people go, that's an inhale. That's not an inhale.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just
Like what I just
think.
did when my shoulders
Yeah,
went
if
up.
I
It
if
was-
I do that, okay, for one thing, when you tense a muscle, it uses up a lot of oxygen. A lot of oxygen. Okay? So if I do this, I'm not doing anything. What I'm doing, I'm creating tension here. But what you
Yeah.
don't see is the tension spreads throughout the rest of my body. So I'm actually harming myself when I do this. So if you see a person do that, then you just correct them.
So you can inhale without all of the.
If you do this, it's tension. If you do this, you're massaging the organs.
Okay.
Okay, and massages are good for you. Okay, and if you don't massage the organs, they become stagnant. And gravity does take its toll. Gravity's always constant. You know, so it's
Yes,
like-
it is.
And when you belly breathe, your lungs get a chance to really inflate. When you're breathing like most people breathe, all stress related,
Right, in the
breathing up
chest
here,
area.
your lungs don't get a chance to expand because you don't move the stomach out and let the lungs drop with the diaphragm. It's not natural. It's not natural to breathe and move your chest wall. I used to argue with the nurses about that. They're like, move your chest wall. When I take a breathing tube out, I say, it's not the chest that needs to move, it's the stomach that needs to move. You know, that allows for full expansion of the lungs.
Wow.
And I don't know if William will agree, but I've gotten used to having my tongue at the roof of the mouth.
I've been
all the
doing that for
time.
years.
Wait, say that
All
again?
the time. The tongue at the roof of the mouth.
Behind your front teeth.
My kids do that all the
That's
time.
great. That's great.
Like just naturally, they
You
do
connect
that.
the circuit.
Yeah.
You connect.
They
the
said
circuit.
my grandma said they got it from your mom. Like she used to do that. Like Aiden does it, or like they
Well,
with their tongue at the.
my philosophy.
Do you do that?
I mean, at times, thinking.
My philosophy is anything that is ancient that worked then still works now.
So what's the connection with the tongue at the top of your mouth? What is that?
It is a connection. You have Asian medicine calls it conception vessel, and then you have the dew channels, the governing vessel, and what it is, you have this circuit, the microcosmic orbit, and the way to connect the energy is to connect the tongue to the top of the mouth so everything flows the way it should. And typically within martial arts or healing art exercises, they always do that. In meditation, they always do that. And the reason why is they want the
Wow.
connection.
In full disclosure, my kids are in their most calmest state when they doing that. They don't bother nobody. They don't mess with nobody. They on chill. I would just start telling them to put your tongue to the top of your mouth. I ain't gotta raise my voice. I ain't gotta tell them to sit down. Just go put your tongue.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Okay, when a baby's growing up, okay, do they mix their foods or they eat one food at a time?
It depends. No, but
When
my
you-
kids tend to they
Not
always.
now, not now. I'm talking about
When
when they
they were-
learn to eat. Okay, because we're taught to mix foods.
They just pick it up like when they use their spoon, when they first start using the spoon, or when they use their hand. They just go one thing at a time. Like they don't
Right.
go all together.
Because the body is being signaled by that one food to prepare the body to digest that one food. So the body's clear. And then you move on to the next, the body's clear. we as adults mix it all up, put it in there, and the body's like,
So that could be a problem with digestion. So if I got three, they tell us that your plate should be colorful, right? You got all these different things on your plate, so you should eat one thing all at a time instead of going around to different things throughout the time that you're sitting down eating. Is that what you're saying? No, seriously. No, seriously, because if that can help with digestion, that can help me digest my food better if I eat, my string beans and just eat all my string beans.
let me just say, not with you, but when you have a challenge and relate it to an emotion or a life challenge, if you can't properly digest life, then you're going to have digestion problems. And every organ is beautifully designed. Every organ has an emotion that's stored there. Like the gallbladder is decision making. Once they take it out, you have a hard time making decisions.
That's true. No, for real. I have a love-hate relationship with food right now. Like it's hard for me I don't know.
It's very simple to say you don't need it and take it out and give me the check.
I was a fool.
Driving my Mercedes or my Porsche.
Because I didn't want to have to deal with pain.
What does the gallbladder do? Do you know?
Well, this is what they explained, and then I did some research after the fact, but they explained that it stores the bile that's released from the liver to help digest your food.
What do you take to supplement and make sure you digest your food?
Fiber?
No.
No?
No. That absorbs excess fluid in the body. It helps you move your bowels, but it doesn't help digest your food.
So what helps digest your food? If for people like me who've been out there and had their gallbladders removed, how can we help digest our food?
Proactazyme, digestázyme, protein digestive aid,
Enzymes.
Enzymes is probably one of our biggest problems why we're all heavy and big and have inflammatory processes. Because it's something we're not getting in our foods. So where
can you get what has these enzymes in it? What natural things can we eat?
It depends on the product line. I like Nature's Sunshine because they're pharmaceutical grade and they're considered pharmaceutical grade in Europe. However, there are numerous other products and you need to know muscle test in order to pick the right one for you. That is the biggest thing. And if you don't know how to do it, you just can't go to a shelf and someone says, well, here, $30 and we're giving you some enzymes. Might not work for you.
And what did you say? You said
Nature's Sunshine product.
Nature's Sunshine.
I'm not trying to advertise for them, but I'm being honest. I mean, they've never failed.
Have you used them?
Yeah.
So this is a personal thing for you, not for everybody, but
and I found that most of my clients can use Nature's Sunshine products without a problem. We could pick. They have a couple of hundred products. We could pull from it, pick from it. Hey, you might want to just go ahead and go for this one, this one, this one. Very seldom do they come back with a side effect. Very seldom. So
just remember that food is no longer nutritious.
Well, that's for sure, and that's probably why I have such a hard time making decisions about it. Even the whole organic thing, like if the food's not it's food in markets that's not even regulated by the FDA.
Can I give you an analogy? Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to form a company. And I'm going to call my company Organic. So what are my products?
I don't know, because you could have made organic to be anything you wanted it to be.
Well.
yeah.
Seriously, you could make organic. If you formed a company, you could make it to be whatever you want. And that's what they did, huh?
But my products are organic, right? Because
you call it that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean. I know organic has to do with what insecticides they use. They use a
right.
And it doesn't so much mean that hey, we only fertilize with cow feces and not yellow cow dung, but regular cow feces.
Oh my God, this sounds so bad.
I mean, so you have to weigh it out and figure it out. I mean, the only thing you can do is plant your own things. And sadly enough, we have this city full of vacant homes that need to be knocked over in some cases. And hey, look, every block should have its own farm. I mean, the minute you try to eat something that you grew yourself and you snatch it off, all those enzymes are alive. You eat it, boom. Why do I feel all energized? I don't feel tired anymore. I felt my best when I lived in the mountains of West Virginia and we had our stuff growing on an acre and a half of land. I was like, what do you want to get today for dinner, Grandma? All right, I'll go ahead and pick it. Now we'll bring it in. In the meantime, for lunch, I'm eating this fresh tomato sandwich I'm making, or fried green tomato. I'm eating some poke salad or some poke greens. It's poisonous, people, but nobody in my family ever been poisoned by it. You just got to know how to cook it.
And that's my brother Rue. He really trying to get into farming, and we definitely going to have to bring y'all back on the show because
City Gal Country Roots is something my daughter has on YouTube. My oldest daughter has a thing she has, City Gal Country Roots.
Okay.
And she shows you, she has everything mapped out, shows you how to map things out, how to do it. And I told her, you really need to go out and try to teach people how to do this stuff. I mean, it's some good stuff.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Chickens. She's got 2 or 3
got
different
everything.
types of chickens. I'm like, you got chickens. All you ever wanted was a dog. And I said, no, what's wrong with you? Chickens running around the yard, dogs chasing the chickens.
So she's
man.
playing like gardens and having farms in Philadelphia?
She was in, I can't think of where its place is. It's out in Delaware County, though, where she is. And I mean, where we are. So she was out doing stuff there. She was working in this big community garden. Now she had a baby, so she's doing stuff in her backyard right now. So
wow, that's amazing.
she's got everything. Her husband built her some stuff and built her a chicken coop. And I'm like, they're better than you to me.
If you like almost instantaneous energy, then you have to sprout.
Oh yeah, that's a nice thing. We found some good sprouts a couple of years ago.
I got some seed. Well, no, I know of a place.
Oh well, see, this what I'm talking about. Y'all got a lot of good information. We're gonna have to bring y'all back on the show. Unfortunately, we out of time. Two can't always do us good when we run over a few minutes. By the way, this is Philly Service announcement. The love, support, and grace is real. Can y'all please tell everybody who y'all are again one last time before we go?
Well, the practice is called C&W. C is for Cordell, is my name, and W is for William. We're located in Southwest Philly. You can text. Do not call the number. You can text 610-931-9498. 610-931-9498. William, you want to give your number?
267-761-7104. That's 267-761-7104. Please text.
And you are William.
William.
Listen, y'all, we had our great special guest on the show today. Y'all heard the number. Text, do not call. This is Philly Service announcement. The love, support, and grace is real. Brother Rue, we held you down, and we out. Thank y'all. Also, our old but faithful.
Welcome. How y'all doing?
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, so we out.
Thank you, William.
That's a lot of information. Like, I gotta